A family of four just paid $1,000 on the same shopping list that ran $480 last Christmas. Coffee is double, beef is double, and the news keeps telling you inflation is cooling. The next wave of inflation is happening right now, and it has nothing to do with war. Now, here's how to beat it.
They'll tell you inflation is cooling. They'll tell you the economy is resilient. Here's what they won't tell you. The price increases aren't a malfunction. They're a business model. Corporate profits hit $3.41 trillion last year, 5 times the historical average since 1947. The Kansas City Fed, not a think tank, not a pundit, the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City confirmed that corporate markup growth accounted for more than half of consumer price inflation. Prices went up, costs came down, prices stayed up, the margin widened, and the companies that capture that margin are using it right now to fund the AI systems that replace the workers who can no longer afford the prices. You're funding your own replacement. That's the end game nobody's explaining. And the next 4 years, 2026 to 2030, are the last window to get on the other side of it. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it because the behavioral shift you make in the next 12 months determines which side of the divide you're on for the next 20 years. PepsiCo's CEO told shareholders the company might have to take additional pricing. General Mills said they've gotten smart about how we look at pricing. These aren't apologies, these are strategy announcements on earnings calls to investors. The language is careful, but the message is clear. The prices aren't coming down because the prices aren't supposed to come down. The prices are the product. The margin is the objective, and the consumer absorbs it because the consumer has no alternative. Here's how the cycle runs. The supply chain crisis in 2021 and 2022 gave every major company permission to raise prices. Consumers absorbed the increases because there was no other option. Wholesale costs normalized, supply chains recovered, the input costs came back down, the shelf prices didn't. The gap between what the product costs to make and what you pay for it widened into the largest sustained margin expansion in the history of the data. Undistributed corporate profits, money companies kept instead of returning to shareholders or investing in workers, jumped 14.9% in Q3 2025 alone. They're not passing the savings to workers. They're not lowering prices. They're retaining the margin. And here's where the money goes: into AI, into automation, into systems that do what the entry-level worker used to do. Faster, cheaper, 24 hours a day, no benefits, no paycheck, no sick days, no negotiation. The margin captured from raising your grocery bill is being invested in the technology that eliminates the job that pays your grocery bill. The cycle is closed. You pay more, the company profits more. The profit funds the machine that replaces you. The machine doesn't need groceries. I want you to see this clearly because once you see it, you can't unsee it. The company you work for raised prices on the products you buy. It used the profit to invest in AI. In the Kansas City Fed study, in the Groundwork Collaborative report that found corporate profits drove 53% of price increases. The data is public. The strategy is stated. The end game is visible to anyone who looks at the numbers instead of the headlines. The World Economic Forum estimated 85 million jobs displaced by AI by the end of 2026. McKinsey projects 15 to 30% of white-collar working hours automatable by 2030. Those are big numbers and they make big headlines. But the number that matters isn't the total, it's where the displacement lands. AI isn't replacing CEOs, it's replacing the bottom of the ladder. Junior developers. GitHub Copilot writes the code they used to write. Junior analysts. AI summarizes the reports they use to compile. Paralegals. AI drafts the contracts. Teaching assistants. AI tutors the students. Customer service reps. AI answers the calls. Content writers. AI produces the copy. NPR reported it directly. AI is adapting faster than the economy can adapt, potentially eliminating entry-level jobs. The entry-level positions that used to be the on-ramp to the middle class, those positions are the ones being automated first. Not the top, the bottom. The rungs of the ladder are being removed while the people at the top keep climbing. The Economic Policy Institute documented the gap across 45 years.
Hey, real quick, just to throw this idea out there, most people don't realize that when inflation rises, people have less money, they stop paying certain bills, they lose their homes, their cars, and so much more. And there is a real estate cycle that gets drugged down. Even if you're the one selling a house, it's getting drugged down in price by everyone else's actions. If you want to learn how to make money from it, I'm going to put a link down below. 4 courses all about real estate cycles, how to deal with the bear market in real estate, how to make a lot of money from it. Links down below. Now let's get back to the video.
Productivity up 64.6% since 1979. Worker compensation up 17.3%. You produce almost 4 times more value per dollar of pay than your parents did. AI doesn't close that gap. It get-mates it. The productivity goes up, the worker goes away, the profit stays with the company. The top 10% of Americans now hold 70% of the nation's wealth. The middle class share dropped from 62% in 1980 to 43% last year. Every decade, declining, accelerating. I want you to see this clearly because once you see it, you can't unsee it. The company you work for raised prices on the products you buy. It used the profit to invest in AI. The AI is designed to do your job cheaper than you can do it. The grocery bill you can barely cover is funding the R&D budget that makes your position redundant. You are financing the system that's replacing you. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's on the earnings calls. The cycle is visible. The question is what you do once you see it. Here's the part that makes this feel like science fiction. The weapon and the escape hatch are the same technology. The corporation uses AI to replace workers and capture margin. But the same AI, the same tools, the same platforms, the same capabilities are available to you right now for free or nearly free. The cost to build a brand, create a product, automate a service, reach an audience, and generate revenue without a storefront or a staff or a 6-figure startup budget is lower than at any point in economic history. The barrier to building something of your own just dropped to a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. That has never been true before. Every major economic restructuring in history had a window, a period when the tools were new, the barriers were low, and the early movers built the positions everyone else spent the next 2 decades trying to reach. AI's window is now, 2024 to 2030. The tools are accessible, the barriers haven't been rebuilt yet. A single person with AI can produce content, design products, automate workflows, and generate revenue that would have required a team of 12 3 years ago. But windows close. That's the pattern every time. The tools get gatekept behind enterprise pricing. The audience attention consolidates around the early builders. The people who waited work inside someone else's. The divide forming isn't between rich and poor. It's between people who use AI as a wealth lever and people who wait to see what happens. The waiters become the product. The builders become the owners. Stop trading time for money as your only income source. Build something that generates revenue without requiring your physical presence for every dollar. Skills that command premium rates because AI can't replicate the judgment behind them. Use AI as a multiplier, not a shortcut. The person using it to write a grocery list is saving minutes. The person using it to build a business is building an asset. Same subscription, different intent. One saves time, the other builds wealth. Learn one AI tool deeply this month. The person who understands how AI applies to their specific skill set is the person the company can't afford to lose. And eventually, the person who doesn't need the company at all. But now you know, 2026 to 2030. The tools are free, the window is open. What you do with that is the only variable left that's yours to control.